guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are all doing really well. Today, we're going to be talking about M. Night Shyamalan's new movie, Trap. Light spoiler warning, I suppose, before we get into any of this. I feel like it's kind of hard to spoil anything in this movie since everything was featured in the trailer. I'm going to try to keep this one brief for y'all since, well, I really don't think anybody would benefit from watching this movie. I'll start the video off with a brief little breakdown of the movie and then we'll get into some spoilers, but if you watched both trailers, you're really not going to be missing any surprises if you stick around for the spoiler section. So to give a little info about the film, Trap is a 2024 American psychological thriller film written, directed, and produced by M. Night Shyamalan and stars Josh Hartnett, Ariel Donoghue, Saleka Shyamalan, Haley Mills, and Alison Pill. Its plot follows a serial killer evading a police blockade while attending a concert with his daughter. The film premiered in New York City on July 24th of 2024 and was released in the United States by Warner Bros. On August 2nd. Yeah, guys, this movie was bizarre. I mean, you would think that a movie about a serial killer would feel like a movie about a serial killer, but it's kind of hard to do that when A, your twist and everything else that could potentially surprise or cause suspense with your audience is in the trailer. And B, where was the murder? I take it back. Consider this review entirely spoiler-filled because there's no reason to hold back on anything that was in this movie. Basically, the movie is about a serial killer known as the Butcher, aka Josh Hartnett's character. The film begins with him at a pop concert designed as an elaborate sting operation to catch Cooper, seemingly setting the stage for a thriller that blends high-stakes action with increasingly implausible twists. And my god, were they implausible. When we're first introduced to Josh Hartnett's character, his character is shown as very engaging and balances an over-eager sweetness with a slight hidden dark side, it seems. At the concert, Cooper attempts to bond with his daughter Riley, but his overly enthusiastic demeanor, while performed well by Josh Hartnett, got a bit cheesy and try-hard at some spots, like when he's trying to bond over teen slang with his daughter. Look, I'm not a teen anymore, but I'm not that old. Nobody fucking says crispy. Nobody says that shit. Anyways, bottom line, his performance is effective for sure in drawing the audience in, and quite frankly, his performance and character is the only real thing that the movie has going for it. Anyways, once the movie begins with the concert, Cooper decides to take a bathroom break and checks his cell phone, which reveals him monitoring a victim that he's imprisoned in some basement somewhere. Which I can only imagine how good of a twist, maybe, that would have been had it not been plastered all over the trailers and posters. Anyways, this reveal obviously shifts the movie from a father-daughter outing to a manhunt for a notorious serial killer that we never even see murder anybody in this movie. The authorities are led by a veteran FBI profiler. They've surrounded the concert arena, believing that they can finally capture the Butcher. I believed it too, to be honest, until the movie turned the Butcher into Houdini. So many implausible escapes, holy shit. Let me try and be a little positive for a sec. The setup is intriguing, don't get me wrong. Like, the concert filled with thousands of people turning into like a hunting ground with all the adult males as potential suspects, and then chaos ensues. Great concept, honestly. The execution... Yeah, see, the authorities have these clues, including surveillance footage and the killer's animal tattoo, but their plan to identify the Butcher among the crowd is not only far-fetched, but it's ineffective as fuck. The logistics of interrogating thousands of people that are attending a concert seems impractical and also looked impractical. There were people everywhere in the background, so it looked like a ton of men walked free anyways, so the FBI strategy raises quite a few questions about the plausibility of their little operation. Cooper learns about the trap from a merch counter clerk named Jamie, which, by the way, probably the best character in the movie. Stay during the credits if you thought the same thing. There's a little surprise.
What's with all the police trucks outside? I'm not supposed to tell. You know the Butcher? They set up a trap for him.
Anyways, once he meets the clerk, his goal shifts to escaping the concert as fast as possible, obviously. He steals a passkey and actually infiltrates a police briefing with no issues, just grabs a coffee, flashes his serial killer grin, and skedaddles. The most incompetent police force
I think you're looking for me. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Sorry.
He engages with other concert attendees, including the mother of Riley's former friends. Loved the sequence we see of her daughter throwing a drink in her face. Hated that mom, but loved that little bit of humor though. Her and her daughter were a mess. Speaking of a mess, Shyamalan's cameo as Lady Raven's uncle was such a shoehorned in cameo, even more so than his normal cameos are. Look, unlike most people, I actually thought his daughter singing was fine. doesn't mean I need him telling me in the film how amazing she is. However, this cameo allows Cooper to fabricate a story about Riley having leukemia to get her selected as the dreamer girl who dances on stage with Lady Raven. This manipulation cameo actually allows him to access the backstage area, but once again, this scenario strains the fuck out of your believability. He suddenly loses all of his patience and options realistically. He eventually outs himself to Lady Raven, which in turn led the plot's coherence to unravel even further. The idea that his identity could have remained hidden after all the antics he pulled during the concert is ludicrous. Pushing the girl down the stairs,
Out of control.
their cameras, putting the glass bottles into the fryer, there are cameras. The movie had so many plot holes. Anyways though, he threatens M. Night Shyamalan's daughter by telling her that if she doesn't comply with what he asks her to do, he threatens to remotely kill the guy that we saw at the beginning of the movie trapped in the basement. She complies and they're able to take her limo out with him in it, so there's no issue with him getting interrogated by any police. It's all just so easy and it seems like the movie's over, which this movie does quite a bit. It seems to end 4 different times. It was very odd. The second half of the movie spirals into a series of increasingly absurd escapes and conveniences for our serial killer. If you thought the concert antics he pulled were unbelievable, the final act has at least 4 different escapes that he pulls off, and all of them stretch beyond reality. Then you have the cliche finale of the wife drugging her psycho husband, which at that point the movie reveals that she was the one who was behind the trap all along. But this movie kind of just treats this reveal as an afterthought, and the scene is just so paint by the numbers whenever it's all said and done. The movie even attempts to delve into Josh Hartnett's psyche a little bit, exploring some of his motives and mother issues and split personality. Look, while the character study could have added depth, the familiarity of it and gutless efforts of the movie, which this movie was PG-13, although I don't really think I can say that's a gripe with it since nobody was murdered in this movie. So ultimately, all of that makes the movie's execution feel shallow. You've seen this movie done so much better elsewhere. I don't want to completely dogpile on this movie's flaws. The movie does offer moments of some entertainment, although it's particularly in its depiction of the concert and M. Night's daughter's performance as Lady Raven, so take that how you will. Her songs written for the film are catchy and absolutely could have been worse, so there's that. Good music, I suppose, and the cinematography was fine, I guess. As far as ratings go, I'd give Trap a 3 out of 10. The movie's unfortunately a pretty mixed bag. Very interesting concept, bad execution. Pretty solid performances, particularly Hartnett. Alison Pill was pretty good too. Even his daughter, played by Ariel Donoghue, very solid performances. M. Night Shyamalan's daughter wasn't bad either, so I feel like the hate towards her acting is kind of maybe rooted in nepotism a little bit. It's not that bad. As far as everything else though, I do truly believe there is a good movie somewhere in here. However, the film's reliance on contrived plot twists, conveniences, and lack of logical coherence ultimately prevents it from being a great thriller. Alright guys, well that pretty much wraps up this review. Have y'all seen Trap? What'd you think of it? Let me know down in the comments below. If you're new here, please make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. It'll really help the channel out a lot. As always, thank you guys so much for the support. Don't forget to like and share, and I'll see you in the next one.